Hello all, welcome back to Fun Times with generic YouTuber number 3478. I don't even know why I chose that number, it just blurted the first sequence that came into my mind. Oh well, anyway, you see the title of the video. I'm just gonna do basically a blanket generic Banlist prediction because Banlist season, free content, yay, we love it. I'm gonna try to touch on as much as I can. There's probably stuff I won't get to. I just want to talk about some of the stuff that I care about or that I thought would be interesting. I'll talk about a few things that are meta relevant, a few things I think should just go because I don't like them, a few things that maybe should come back. There's really no certain structure to this. I just wanted to be as blanket as possible and just kind of do just what I wanted to do. Basically. So with that, let's get started with a few people disagree that this is the current number one deck of the format right now, and I'd say it's still kind of hanging out there, and that's Dragon Link. So first, the obvious hit on Dragon Link, and the one that even Dragon Link players themselves would agree honestly it wouldn't kill the deck, like they'd say the deck would survive without it, is Guard Dragon LP. It's just been too long. I think this card needs to go. It's just so stupid. I mean, generically summon any dragon whatsoever from the deck, and it honestly limits the design of cards as well as far as dragons, because you either structure a card to either link into LP or can it be summoned off of LP. It's just been around for too long. It's just a stupid card because generically summoning any dragon from the deck, it's just we've let this run rampant for way too long now, and I just think it's time for LP to go. I've seen some other suggestions for other things in Dragon Link to get hit, like maybe Chaos Space to reduce the consistency, or I've even seen arguments saying that the baby dragons, black and white, need to go, and maybe, but I mean, that's just like consistency reduction. They'd find a way to combo beyond that, so I really think that LP has to be the main hit, and Dragon Link players have even said that if LP gets hit, then they have ways to structure the combo to where the deck will survive. It just won't be as broken as it was. So I think you gotta hit LP if you want to curb the power of dragons, because it's just been around for too long. One of the next ones to talk about would be, I guess, the Tri-Brigade strategy, because Tri-Brigade Zoo, Lyrilisk Tri-Brigade has been running around for a bit. I really don't see them hitting anything, especially since they just got new support. I think they're going to leave it because of the new cards that they got, because, I mean, Konami wants to sell things. I mean, realistically, I mean, I see people wanting stuff like Kit to get hit, but I don't think Kit is going to get hit. It's relatively new as well. They still want to sell that set. I could see them maybe touching something like Fractal, but I don't even think they're going to hit Tri-Brigade whatsoever. Like I said, they just got new support, and I think they're just going to leave it alone for a while. So rejoice, Tri-Brigade players, I guess, and I'll deal with your annoying BS another day. Next is just more so either splashable engines or just stuff that's been around for a while. First, I'll address Invoke Dogmatica. I think Nadir Servant just needs to get hit. I mean, Invoke Dogmatica is not doing anything crazy now, but it's just been around for a while doing stupid stuff. The setup you get with Nadir Servant is just broken in any deck that can run it, and it's just I just want to see it at least limit it to one. Like, they might do something like semi-limited, but I mean, that's just wish list things. And then with the Invoked Engine itself, I don't think Alistair's the hit. You don't need to hit Alistair. The move would be like maybe limit Magical Meltdown just to reduce the consistency, because Meltdown is where some of the problems arise. You not only get your Alistair, but I mean, you can't respond to the fusion things. Well, you can't respond to the activation. You can still respond to it. There are entire discussion threads about the interaction of Invocation, Shaddoll Fusion, and Red Ice Fusion under Magical Meltdown versus something like Ash, and those are entertaining to watch. But if you hit the invoked part, Meltdown would be the way. I don't think hitting Alistair would do anything. And I've seen discussions on what should be done about Shaddoll Schism. I really don't see them doing anything to this. Yeah, it's stupid that it can just summon out Winda or Construct and then it sends whatever else. But I mean, Shaddoll's good, especially with splashing in Invoked or Dogmatica stuff in there, but I don't see them hitting Schism of all things. They only played it 1 anyway, so you would have to ban the card, and I just don't think that they're gonna get rid of that tool. As annoying as it is, I don't think Schism's going anywhere. Another splashable engine. This really hasn't done anything in a while, but I think if they were gonna touch on this, then they should. It's Outledge, so I'll just show. If they're gonna hit Outledge, they gotta hit Sanguine. I'm afraid they're gonna hit something like Cursed Outland, but I mean, hitting Outland's not gonna do anything. If you want to curb the power, you gotta hit Sanguine. I don't even think they're gonna touch Outledge anyway, because Outledge hasn't been doing anything crazy in a long time. For like a format or two now, anything too ridiculous. But if you were gonna do it, you gotta hit Sanguine. But I think they would do what the OCG did and hit Outland, which I don't think would be too beneficial in that regard. And that's even if they touch it at all. Now on to what I consider to be the most interesting part, because this is my main deck as of the moment. For those of you who know what I play, you know where we're going. It's Dinos, and the card that everybody wants to get hit is Mr. Fair and Balanced right here. And you all know how I feel about this. My deck gets stopped by like 1 hand trap, and there are several ones that do it. If you Ash Misk when I banish it, I pass my turn and I cry. If you Lancia me, I cry. If you Meister Misk, I cry. If you Droll me, then I can't finish my turn, all that other stuff. And I know that argument is, oh, just have the out. Yeah, it's still just like, it's the same old argument. I mean, Dino's a well-represented deck, and it has been around for a while, so I do see a hit of it coming. And whether that's something like Misk, or I've seen arguments for Overraptor for some reason. I don't think Overraptor should get hit. I think more likely hits are maybe something like Fossil Dig or Lost World. These two I would see more, because Lost World is ridiculous. It's a main combo piece. It prevents targeting. You can do ridiculous things with the token, destroying the babies from the deck. And then Fossil Digs, I mean, you get 3 rotas in the deck, essentially. That's ridiculous. I think they'll hit these more likely. The reason I say that is because, let's be real, Dino lives and dies by Misk. If this card is gone, like we've seen this before, when you limited cards like Misk and Overraptor, but Misk especially, then the power of Dinos was immediately curbed. They weren't doing anything, and then they didn't come back to any type of prominence until Misk came back. So the deck does live and die by Misk, and Konami doesn't necessarily like to kill decks, they just like to curb the power. But this wouldn't be curbing the power, this would be like destruction of the deck. That's just me saying this as a Dino player, but I digress. Oh well, leave your thoughts in the comments and tell me about why Misk should have been banned 7 formats ago, and have fun with it there. On to more generic things. I'll just plop it down and start the discussion. Dragoon. Dragoon's not doing anything crazy this format. None of the top decks are playing him except like gimmicky versions of Dragon Link, but I mean, Dragon Link sets up better boards without going into Dragoon, and none of them want to do it anyway because you have to play 3 bricks to play it. I've seen other arguments for like Vert Anaconda, but Anaconda's not the hit. If you're gonna hit Dragoon, you gotta hit Dragoon itself. The main argument I've seen that we discussed in our last Banlist video, Team Satisfaction is not here to carry me this time. The argument was put Dragoon to 1, and the reason being, you know, if your opponent spends all your resources outing Dragoon and then they just summon another one in a simplified game state, then that's broken. I understand that. I don't even think they're going to touch Dragoon because it's not doing anything. Like, yes, it is an incredibly oppressive and incredibly broken card, and if they hit it, I would understand it. It makes sense, but I just don't even see them doing anything to it because it's not in, like, the upper echelons of prominence. It'd be, like, at most it would be in, like, a tier 2 or a rogue strategy. Like, the most this is doing right now is boosting rogue decks like Phantom Knight. So I don't even see them hitting Dragoon this time, but if they do it, then I understand. Another generic one that can just be splashed in the decks I've seen is Zeus. Basically, if you do anything to Zeus, you would have to ban it because most strategies that are seeing the top echelons of competitive play are only playing 1 copy. Like the only deck playing more than 1 copy of Zeus is like pure Zoo or Zoo Outledge, and those have just been phased out by superior strategies like Tri-Brigade Zoo. Like, those are only playing one Zeus. And I mean, I just don't see them banning Zeus, because Zeus, yes, it is a very oppressive card. It's very annoying, and you set up your entire board and your opponent goes, normal summon, Borbo, attack, material, Zeus go burr. As brainless and stupid as that is, I don't see them touching Zeus, because it's not that Zeus isn't the oppressive card, and every single major deck is finding ways to deal with Zeus, as annoying as it is. So I just don't see them touching it. If they do, they would have to ban it completely, because putting it to 1 just doesn't do enough. One more thing, this would kind of be a wish list for me as well. It's time for Mystic Mind to go. We're all tired of this card. Is there anybody out there who thinks this is a well-designed card that's fair and balanced and fun to play? It's just let Mind go. It's time. We don't want it anymore. And then just another wish list thing for me. You saw my reaction to the previous ban list. Destruction Sword. I mean, you saw my reaction when this card came back to 3. It's not doing anything. The only thing really taking advantage of it is Buster Blader. But I mean, cards that lock you out of game mechanics are just stupid. I mean, we had Dragon Link doing this at first again with like DMZ Dragon. There are some builds still playing this. It's not the build that they go with now, because there are better builds of it. But I just think that this shouldn't be a thing. The things that lock you out of game mechanics entirely are just stupid. And this one's different than, like, say, Monarch, because Monarch needs a very, very specific hand to do that. They can't play an extra deck, which limits their options. And then this one is just far more consistent, far more easily searchable, and far more oppressive if they're able to pull it off. Yes, I know Buster Blader is like a rogue deck, and it's not really doing anything, but I just don't think that should be a thing anymore. On to the section of cards that could come back. Let's start with the most obvious. Triff's favorite wish list, Electromite. I think Electromite could come back. People, I know it will probably be oppressive if we still have this plus like Halqifibrax and other stuff. Oh, sorry, I called it Halqifibrax. That's illegal here. We call it needle fiber. It could be potentially annoying / a mild problem if this comes back with all those other cards, but I just think Electromite can come back. Like, give Pendulum something. Our resident Pendulum player, shout out to you, Jonah, says that this card's trash, and given the fact that he is on my YouTube channel eating this card, by the way, dude, this card's like worth money now, so you shouldn't have done that. But he says this card's trash and like Pendulums don't need it, but like this would absolutely help Pendulums come back into some type of prominence. So like I think this could come back. I think it would be okay if Electromite came back. Kind of a weird one. I've seen this going around. Beatrice coming to more than 1. I don't know how I feel about that, because the argument behind that is, any other deck is only playing Beatrice at 1 copy. It would just be Phantom Knights that would play more than 1 Beatrice, and they want Beatrice to more than 1, and that would help boost their power. I'm very hesitant to allow more than 1 Beatrice, because that's like opening up the floodgates to a bunch of other degenerate combos and degenerate FTKs that have plagued Yu-Gi-Oh's past. So I don't know if bringing Beatrice back to more than 1 would be anything beneficial for the game. So I'm very hesitant to do that. I would just play it safe and say keep Beatrice at 1. I don't think it should come back to any more than that. Now on to the final section of it, everybody's favorite. Basically, Resurrect Eternal format. Starting it off, Colossus. We've been saying this for a bunch of formats now. I think Colossus could come back. Like, give Thunder Dragons something. I mean, it's the same thing as Dinos. It loses to a bunch of the hand traps that are going around right now. You Droll them, you Lancia them, you Ash the right thing, then you could potentially just stop their entire play. They pass their turn, they cry. And I know that's just have the out to it. I know that Colossus is an oppressive card, but we have way more stuff that can deal with it. This was far more oppressive in Eternal format because we didn't have as much stuff to deal with it. And yeah, locking out of the deck is bad, but I mean, like, is Thunder Dragon doing, like, anything of prominence? If you give them this, they may be, like, a solid at most tier 2 potentially. I would see, and that's maybe my ignorant opinion. I don't know. Let me know what you think. But I think Colossus can come back to 1. 1 Colossus only. More than 1 Colossus is a problem. But Colossus to 1, we can do it. We have the technology. We can do it. Onto Orcust. I saw a very funny thread going in one of the message groups that I am in the other day about harp horror. Somebody made the comment that harp horror could not come back, and the discussion that followed was heated and funny. As much as I don't like Orcust, I personally just think it's just stupid and annoying. I think harp horror can come back. I say that reluctantly because I really don't want to deal with Orcust, but I think harp horror could come back. Just bring it to 1, we'll see what it does, and then we'll go from there. But I say it reluctantly, but like, sure, bring harp horror back. Next, Sky Striker. I've seen arguments to like bring multi-roll or Hornet Jones to more than 1, but really that would just like boost, and something like Hornet Jones would like boost generic warrior stuff. You could splash it as an engine and other things like it was being splashed. I'm reluctant to do this, but I've seen the argument to bring Engage back to 1, and I really don't know how I feel about that, because I don't think giving Sky Striker Pot of Greed is a good idea, because like, yeah, I know that they have Engage in the OCG and Sky Striker's still not doing much, but I'm really reluctant to let them have that. I just don't think that'd be a good idea. But I mean, is Striker doing anything really, really good? And it's a solid rogue deck. So I mean, like, if you give it some breathing room with Engage, maybe. I don't know if I would bring Engage back, but I mean, wishful thinking for Sky Striker players, for sure, bring it to 1. We'll see the chaos unfold. I really don't think it should be. But a bunch of cards that I do, in fact, think should come back for the final portion of Eternal format. First, Stalio. Stalio can come back. Like, that, no explanation needed. We can have Stalio back. They only curbed Salamangreat because it was the most consistent deck in existence at the time, and they just wanted to curb its power. Yes, Salad is playable right now already with the cards it has, but like, give it some breathing room. We can have Stalio back. And then otherwise, arguments for like Gazelle or Circle to come back to more than 1 copy. I personally think you could do like one or the other. Like, if you leave Stalio banned, you can like semi-limit these 2 or any combination of those. Or if you want to go really crazy, just go like 2 or 3 of these and Stalio back. I just like give it some breathing room. Like, Salad can have some breathing room. It's a rogue deck. It's not doing anything crazy or oppressive. It's like, it's got decent representation and win rate, but it's not doing anything crazy whatsoever. I think that's about all I've got lined up. I know I didn't touch on some other stuff, like Drytron when it got the new support, but I don't think they're going to do anything with Drytron because Lightning Overdrive just came out. So if they were to hit something else like Ben 10, just banning it outright instead of just keeping it at 1, hitting cards like Drytron Nova or Fafnir, the field spell Fafnir, not Mu Beta Fafnir, the XZ they just got. I just don't see them doing that because they still want to sell Lightning Overdrive. And honestly, for that reason, I don't think they would hit anything in Dino either, because the new scrap cards are insane for Dino, but I mean, I would understand if they curb the power. I just don't see anything happening to Drytron. It's probably going to be annoying, but that's one of the reasons I just didn't really touch on it. I think that's about all I got lined up. I finally made a video that's longer than like 3 minutes in a while. Let me know your thoughts of anything else you think could come back, anything you think needs to go away. Am I ignorant in me wanting Misk to stay legal at the very least? If not at 3, then like 1 or 2. I know that discussion is going to be fun. Otherwise, just let me know your thoughts. Thanks for tuning in, and have a good rest of the day.